Hello and welcome to bedfordguitartuition.co.uk. My name's Steve Jones. Today's lesson comes from a student who asked me, what is a key? Good question. Let's have a little look. So when we start off guitar, it's useful to think of a key as a family of chords, a selection of chords that you are likely to find that go together in most of the songs that you'll be learning. So if we look at our key chart here, we can see all the major keys. And this is a useful way of envisaging a key to begin with. So if we take a row, so let's look at the one that starts with our C major, we can see that our first chord, our number one chord, this is often called a home chord, or it's certainly what the key is called after. So the key of C has the chord of C as its number one chord. That's a useful way to think about it to begin with. After that, we have two minor chords of D minor and E minor. After that, we have two major chords of F and G. And after that, we have our relative minor of A minor. A minor and C have a special relationship. They share the same scale. So it's useful to think of a key. When you look at most songs that you know, you can then begin to place them in keys. So if you know, I don't know, La Bamba, for example, which is C, F and G, you can see that the only row that would fit in, where you've got a C major, an F major and a G major, is in that family of C. So what are we actually asking when we ask what key something's in? To me, I'm asking, what chords am I likely to find in this song? Now, most songs are a blend of happy sounding major chords and sad sounding minor chords. But actually, if you want to think of them in terms of numbers, again, La Bamba, C, F, G, that just goes round, C, F, G, C, F, G. You could think of it as the first chord, followed by the fourth chord, followed by the fifth chord. Now, with that numbering system, you can then change key quite easily. So we could look at, say, the key of G at the bottom there. One chord is G, four chord is C, five chord is D. So we can play La Bamba in the key of G just by playing G, C and D. Yeah. So it can be a useful way of grouping chords together. So you're not thinking about how does this song go and having a selection of all the chords everywhere to choose from. You can narrow them down to 6 chords per song, generally. So let's look at the key of C for a second. You'll notice that C is a prominent chord. That's the number one chord. That's the one that gives its name to the key. F and G are the major chords that go with that. So in a 3-chord trick song, as they call it, you would find those 3 major chords. If you're looking at minor chords, A minor and D minor are the chords that you're most likely to find there. A minor arguably sounds the best with the home chord of C. E minor, it goes in there, but it's not necessarily the go-to chord. So you can use this system to gauge the probability of a particular chord being in a particular song. And it'll help you memorize chord progressions in songs to think of them in keys. So, challenge to you, if you know a song all the way through, have a look at what major chords are in that song and see if it fits within this model. And you'll have just established the key. Here is another way of thinking about what a key is. This is all to do with musical resolution, the sound that resolves a sound. So, for example, we are used to thinking about this in rhythm all the time. If I did this, we'll leave it there, shall we? How many of you went, because it begins to itch if you don't do it, if you don't resolve that sound. So, we'll leave it there, shall we? No, everyone goes. So musical rhythm resolution is something that we're very, very used to. But it also is in music as well. It's in tones, it's in chords. So there are chords and music and tones that resolve sounds. Advertisers know this. So for example, not that I can whistle, but the resolution, the strap line of that advert is in your head. So you complete that loop. Advertisers know this, so that's what they do. But songwriters know this too. So for example, I'm going to give you a few songs that I would describe as being in the key of C. But I'm going to change my language slightly. I'm going to say it's in the family of chords of C. And this is why. So first up, I'm going to give you La Bamba. These are all going to be found on the row that is just in the key of C. So we're not going to be straying away from any chords that aren't C, F, G, with minor chords of A minor, E minor and D minor. That's it. That's all we're going to use. But we can arrange them in different ways. So, La Bamba, C, F, G. La, la, bamba. We all know it. La, la, bamba. But it resolves on C. Why does it resolve on C? Well, let's just stop it short. Let's stop it on the chord before that and see if you begin to think it should resolve on C. La, la, bamba. Do, 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 do. La, la, bamba. Bamba. Who amongst you, other than me, was itching there until it resolved on C? That's what makes it in the key of C, is because the chord of C resolves that sound. So, does it always resolve that sound? Not necessarily. Let's take C out of the equation. We'll leave F and G in the song, but we'll replace C with A minor, and you get All Along the Watchtower, which is going to be A minor, G, F, G, A minor, and you'll see that it resolves on A minor, particularly if I don't let it get to A minor. You'll begin to want it to go to A minor. There must be some kind of way out of here, said the Joker to the thief. Please go back to A minor so I can start this song again, or at least resolve it. So that one, you could describe that as being in A minor. Not because the chord is A minor, but because the column is A minor. See, anything that resolves the sound that is in column 1 is described as a major key. Anything that resolves the sound that is in column 6 is defined as a minor key. They have the same chords family together, but that's how you would describe them. So now we know 2 keys, C and A minor, without actually having to learn 2 keys, because we recognize that they are in essence the same. They just resolve on a different chord. So what happens when everyone's quite happy with C, everyone's quite happy with A minor, and then the Waterboys come along and make a song called Fisherman's Blues, and that's got C, F, G and A minor in it, and it doesn't resolve on C or A minor. It resolves on G. Let's have a listen to that. Resolves not on C, on G. I wish I was a fisherman, tumbling on the sea, far away from dry land and its bitter memory. Memory. Please go back to G. G resolves the sound. So what is that? If we're saying everything in the first column is major, so C major, everything in the 6th column is minor, A minor, what would it be in the 5th column? For this, we're going to have to expand our vocabulary, and we're going to have to give you some new words, some of which will replace the words that we've been using. So we're now going to be entering the realm of modes. Now, you might have heard about these modes, the mystical names like Dorian and Phrygian and what have you, but each column has a modal name. So let's swap out the first column from major and now call it its modal name of Ionian. Let's take the 6th column out too and change that from minor to Aeolian. Now I'm going to change all the others so you can see what order they go in. So next is Dorian, Phrygian, Lydian, Mixed Lydian, Aeolian. So anything that resolves on any of the chords that you can see in the 5th column can be described as a Mixolydian. So the key for this particular song is G Mixolydian. Now, I don't know anyone who would actually communicate that to you in a way that's meaningful in a live jam environment. Most people would pair it back to its major name. So if I said, no, Fisherman's Blues, never played that before, what key is it in? 99.999% of the time, someone will say, it's in the key of C. Starts on G though, it goes like this, and then they would play it for me. Because what you're actually asking is, what chords can I expect in this song? You don't really need to know in a live jam environment what chord resolves the sound, because once the chord cycle has gone around once, you kind of know that. But keys can be described in this way. So sometimes you will see a jam track that says it's in the key of G, but then you look at it and it's got the chords that you can see that sit perfectly in the key of C. That can be why. One more for you. This one is called Rocky Road to Dublin. This one's an Irish tune. It's in a weird timing that doesn't actually make sense a lot of the time. But its chords are C and D minor. Now, odds on, you are looking at something in the key of C, actually in the key of C. But this song is entirely in D minor. It flicks through C really quickly. It starts, ends, and for the most part is in D minor. Now, D minor being altered slightly to make a suspended sound, but that is basically what we're doing. In the merry month of May, was from home I started, left the girls and tunes so sad and broken hearts, saluted by the dear, kissed me darling her mother and drank a pint of beer, tears and grief to smother, then after reap the corn. It's in D, but it's not in D minor. We don't say that it's in D minor because minor in this context is reserved for chords that finish in the minor column, or now we call it Aeolian column, which is the 6th column. So what is it called if you have a song that resolves in the 2nd column? That is called Dorian, and we describe that as D Dorian, not D minor Dorian. The actual chord is minor, but that's irrelevant. It's D Dorian, that's what we say that is. So that is the music theory based way of describing what a key is. The more useful way of describing a key is a family of chords, and there is real value, certainly as a live jam playing kind of person, to pair your family of chords and call it after the head of that family, the major of that family, C. Hope that's been useful for you. Hope you've enjoyed the lesson. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and don't forget there are not enough guitarists in the world. Be a guitarist. Yes, find yourself a guitar teacher. Be the best guitarist you can be. Have a great day. Bye-bye.